So the other day I was working at the bank, and a customer comes in with a check to deposit, and she wants to know when the funds will be available. So yeah, I start looking at the check. I look at the routing number. Start trying to figure out, is it a local check? Is it a non-local check? Um, well, it's a non-local check. Could we maybe cash the check and then deposit the cash? Maybe do something like that. Oh well, the weekend's coming up, so it goes by business days, so this isn't going to be available. So I'm going through all this stuff in my brain, and the customer gets frustrated. The customer thinks I'm an idiot. She's like, what? You don't know when my check's going to be available? And then she turns to the guy next to me, and she says, "Can somebody help him?" I'm like, "Wow, I'm the guy with the YouTube videos about banking. Can somebody help me?" I, I was very insulted, but whatever. It's a common problem. People just don't understand how complicated banking is, and they want quick answers. And if we can't give them a quick answer, they don't understand why. So my goal here today is just to kind of give you a little primer on how to talk to your bank, and some of the things to look out for, and some of the things that you have to make your banker aware of, so that you can get the accurate answers to your question. And to accomplish that, I came up with a little memory device, which I call the banking ratchet. 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 Yeah, that's right. And each letter stands for something. And if you use your banking ratchet, you'll have a much better chance of communicating accurately with your bank and getting the right answer. So, what does the R stand for? The R stands for the relationship you have with your bank. Your bank's policies are different depending on your relationship. Maybe you're a brand new customer. A lot of fraud occurs with brand new customers, so the policies are a little bit more restrictive. Maybe you have a very large account, so the bank's a little bit more lenient. They'll cut your break because they know that you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in investments. Maybe you have overdraft protection on your account. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're in some kind of a package plan. Maybe because of the type of checking account you have, you get some kind of perks. All different kinds of factors can go into it depending on your relationship. So the banker has to understand that before you can even really start to answer your question. A, the amount of the transaction makes a difference. If it's a $50 check, one thing happens. If it's a $200 transaction, something else happens. If it's an $85,000 transaction, something else happens. It does make a difference. So if you just expect a blanket answer for how long does it take a check to clear, there is no one answer. R-A-T. T. The type of transaction. Banking's getting so darn complicated with all the different types of transactions. We've got all the old-fashioned ones. You've got checks. You got cashier's checks. You got traveler's checks. You got gift cards. You've got credit cards. You got wire transfers, online bill pay, all different kinds of transactions. RATC, the channel. Just like you've got all different types of transactions, you've got different channels through which you can process them. You can use the online banking. You can use the telephone banking. You can use the telephone banking automated system, or you can use the telephone banking where you talk to a person. You can go to a teller. You could go to a in-store branch. You could go to you could send in your deposit by mail. All different kinds of stuff, and you know, there's different policies for each different channel that you choose to use. You know, maybe for you always go to a teller, so you don't really think about that. But when you walk up to the banker, he doesn't know that until until he gets into it a little bit. RATCH. H is for the human factor. There's a lot of computers and stuff, but there still is a human factor. Maybe I know you. I know that you work for a place that uses PNC to cut their payroll checks, and I work for PNC, and I know that you always want your checks deposited as cash. So without even asking you, as soon as you walk up, I'm just going to cash the check automatically and deposit it into your account. If you go to somebody else who doesn't know you, who doesn't have that human relationship, they're not going to do that necessarily, and something different might happen. Maybe if you go to one branch, they just got audited, so they're on their toes, to make sure like everything is to the letter perfect, and maybe another branch just got bought out by a customer for being too strict on the requirements. So they're kind of backing off. Well, yeah, I think I know her. Yeah, I don't have to check, right? Yeah. That's Mrs. Jones. Yeah, I'm sure it is. RATCHE. The E is for errors. Now there are bank errors, of course, but there could also be errors on the customer's end. Maybe your employer forgot to sign your payroll check. Does it happen? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Prints out the check, hands it to you, forgets to sign it. The check's no good. It doesn't have a signature. Maybe you forgot to endorse the check before you put it into the ATM machine. There's no teller there to check it. You just put it in the machine, so you think that the money's going to be available, but you're error. And of course, stuff can happen on the back end too. So even if you think you know what's going on, it can still go wrong. RATCHET. Oh, lastly, T is the time and date of your transaction. Was it a holiday? Was it a weekend? Was it before the cutover time? Was it after the cutover time? All makes a difference. So as long as you remember to be as specific as possible when you're talking to your banker, instead of just asking, is this money going to be immediately available, you might want to say, if I deposit $700 cash now through the teller, is that going to be available for my daughter who's going to school in Philadelphia to take it out of the ATM machine tonight? That gives me something to work with. That's a lot more specific, and I understand what you're trying to do. Or another example. If I deposit this check today through the ATM machine, when will that money be available for me to buy that large screen TV with my check card? It's not the entire ratchet, but it's a good part of it, and it gives the banker something to work with. And possibly the banker could even make a suggestion of a better way to do it. Maybe they'll say, no, you don't want to do that through the ATM. Here, we'll do it this way. And lastly, remember that unlike this craftsman ratchet here, your banking ratchet is not guaranteed forever. So just because you think you used to know how something works, maybe that's not true anymore. Maybe a cashier's check used to be as good as cash, regardless of whether you had the money in your account. Now you have to wait for the check to clear just like any other check. So always ask if it's if you're not sure.